The Chicago Police Department has just released 2 police reports in the Jussie Smollett case, but those reports still don't really reveal any new information as to why prosecutors abruptly dropped those charges against the Empire star. Smollett had been facing 16 felony counts after investigators accused him of staging this elaborate attack himself. Smollett says 2 men targeted him because he's black and gay. He says prosecutors' decision to drop the charges vindicates him, but prosecutors say that's not the case.
Do you think Mr. Smollett did what he was charged with doing?
Yes, we stand behind the CPD's investigation in this case.
Do you consider him innocent?
No. This was not an exoneration. To say that he was exonerated by us or anyone else is not true. I'd call it an alternative disposition in that he agreed to do community service. He agreed to forfeit his bail to the remainder of his bond to the city of Chicago. And in return for him doing those things, we agreed to dismiss the indictment.
But here's the thing. Smollett walks away with his entire record expunged and what appears to be an extremely clear conscience.
I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I have been accused of.
Now, Chicago's police union is calling for a federal investigation into State Attorney Kim Foxx. And this might be why emails and text messages obtained by CNN show communications between Foxx and Smollett family friend Tina Chen, who is the former chief of staff to Michelle Obama. This was when Smollett was being treated as the victim. Foxx recused herself soon after the case took a turn, and my next guest is one of the officers calling for an investigation into possible interference. He is Martin Prieb. He's the second vice president of the Fraternal Order of Police in Chicago, Lodge 7. Martin, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Got to get your reaction first, though, to the prosecutor's decision and his comments that dropping the charges does not exonerate him.
Well, you're in a Orwellian Chicago world here where one prosecutor is saying one thing. The investigation that the police conducted and brought to the prosecutors has been completely messed up. It's just a disaster.
What are you being told?
I don't think he's exonerated. Pardon?
What are you being told?
Well, we're being. I haven't had any direct contact with Kimberly Foxx or with the second person in charge that you showed there. So, I don't even think they have a clear message of what they're trying to put out here. It just is a huge mess, another mess in the Kimberly Foxx administration. This has been going on for the entire 2 years she's been in office.
If it's such a mess, what's the missing piece here? Do you think Kim Foxx was still involved in this decision, despite, as we just mentioned, her own recusal?
You know what? Everybody in Chicago is wondering about the motive behind this and what's going on, and the speculation runs rampant. But it's very clear she should have appointed a special prosecutor. The law is very clear. She can't recuse herself and not her entire administration. There's, for one, a blatant conflict of interest there when your second in command takes over. Of course, there's going to be, there's a conflict of interest with your boss. She should have given it to a special prosecutor immediately, and it should have been gone to trial.
In this decision, prosecutors are basically making this case that Chicago has no shortage of serious crime. Law enforcement and justice resources are already overwhelmed, and that pursuing this Smollett case farther just wasn't worth the resources, wasn't worth the effort. Is that valid?
Who would believe such nonsense? Who would believe such nonsense? As you said, there were 16 felony counts here. That is one of the lamest excuses we've ever heard. This isn't the only thing that we've criticized Kimberly Foxx for. I mean, she's transformed her office into a political advocacy agency, not an agency that goes after prosecuting criminals and protecting public safety and backing up good investigations by police officers. Our members of the union have very little faith in her ability and in her office at this point.
I hear you. You're making that crystal clear. But on the case itself, Martin, you know, what if, playing the what if game, what if Jussie Smollett wasn't famous? I mean, do you feel like there are two justice systems in the city of Chicago?
I don't believe there's much of a justice system at all in Chicago at this point. The criminal justice system is on life support. I don't think that's because of the police officers, though a lot of people on the left, you know, constantly attack the Chicago Police Department. But I think this gives an important window for the national audience to see how the public institutions in Chicago often function, which is to say that they don't function very well at all. And, you know, this is a violent city. And there are a lot of people, you know, Mr. Smollett saying that he protects marginalized people and those things. Well, you know what? That's what the police do. That's what the police do every day. They go into whatever neighborhood is out there, whatever group of people it is, and they try and enforce the law fairly and equitably. And so, no, I think that, you know, there's a tremendous loss of faith in here. We really, you know, Mayor Emanuel spoke very passionately yesterday condemning this decision, and we certainly hope he's going to join us and ask for a federal investigation into this incident.
Martin Prieb, thank you. Thank you for not holding back. And, you know, I hear you. And what is the message all of this sends the people of Chicago when it comes to trust and justice? Thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate your opinion. I want to move on. Thank you.